This part of my week used to eat a whole morning, and right now I am doing nothing. I typed one plain sentence into a folder on my laptop, run this week's jobs, and it is working through the list. The newsletter is drafting in my own wording, the week's posts are lining up, and last month's messy numbers are turning into a summary I can read. Here is the turn. There is no special app behind it, no dashboard, no system and engineer set up. The thing running my business this morning is a folder with a few plain notes inside. And one note in there I never wrote a rule for is the one that surprised me. By the end, you will have built your own first card. Quick hello if you are new. On this channel, I take the jobs that quietly run your business and turn each into a plain English helper you own. And if you would rather build your first one beside other people, there is a free foundation class on School where everyone opens that first empty folder together. Free to join, links under this video. Now let me open this one. Here is where most people get stuck before they start. You hear a folder that runs my business, and you picture big software, a dashboard with 40 buttons, accounts to connect, a monthly fee. That picture is wrong, and it is parked capable people on the sidelines for a year now. What is actually on my screen is a folder of 5 small text files, each a note in plain English that tells Claude how I do one job. Anthropic, the company that makes Claude, describes it like this. Each skill packages instructions, metadata, and optional resources that Claude uses automatically when relevant. Take the long words off and Claude reaches for the right note on its own when that job shows up. Hold one picture because it carries the rest of this video. Imagine the back room of a well-run shop with trained assistants along one wall, each doing exactly one job. Here is what makes them worth their wages. You trained each one once, wrote their job on a single page the way you like it done, and now you never explain it again. You say newsletters due, and the right person already knows what that means. That folder is that back room, and every text file is one assistant with one page. The magic is not any single one of them, it is that they share a room, so one ask sends the whole wall to work. So let me walk you down the wall because seeing the real folder is the point. Card 1 drafts the newsletter in my voice, and Card 2 turns one idea into a week of posts. Card 3 reads a messy sales export and tells me what moved. Card 4 replies to a common inquiry the way I would. 4 little notes, 4 jobs that used to be 4 afternoons. And then there is this 5th slot, empty, the one we will fill together, the newsletter card, the job everyone means to do and never does. By the end of the next few minutes, that slot has a working assistant. So does your folder. Here is what you need to follow along, and it is almost nothing. A laptop and the regular $20 Claude plan a lot of you already pay for, no code, no install, no API key. I open an empty folder and make one plain text file named draft-newsletter. That blank page is the new assistant, and we are about to write their standing brief in 3 short parts, non-technical. Part 1 goes at the top, the easiest line in the file, the name of the job, and one sentence on what it is for. Mine reads, write this month's customer newsletter in my voice, warm, short, and human. That is how Claude knows the newsletter job is this one. Write it the way you would label a folder for yourself, and you just did the part people think they cannot do. Part 2 is where the assistant stops sounding like a stranger and starts sounding like you. This is your voice, written down once, the rules you carry in your head and never put on paper. So I write them out, open warm, like I am talking to one regular, not a mailing list. 3 short sections end on one friendly invitation. And 2 house rules I care about, use commas not dashes, and never put a money figure on screen, say it in words. None of that is software. You are writing standards you already have, so every newsletter sounds like you on your best day. Part 3 is the one people forget, and it is the simplest. You point the assistant at this month's actual job. Mine says, I will give you what is new this month, write the newsletter from it, and save the draft here. And that is the entire file. 3 short sections in plain English. You have built the assistant and we have not run it yet. I am in Claude Desktop, no terminal, just the folder and a box to type in. I run a real example, a small coffee roastery, and tell it the only things that are new this month. A single origin Ethiopian bean just landed. There is one quick brewing tip worth sharing, and I want to thank the regulars who keep walking in. It reads the assistant's page, then takes my 3 facts and writes. A real draft lands in the folder called newsletter_draft.md, opening warm. The brewing tip comes out in plain words, wet the grounds, wait 30 seconds, then pour the rest. A whole newsletter from 3 facts and a note in under a minute. And here is the part I promised at the top, the thing I never wrote a rule for. I told it to thank the regulars, but I never told it how I feel about that. On its own, in the thank you, it wrote this: your visits added up to our best month yet. And we mean that in regulars, not in numbers. It quietly held my no numbers rule from part 2 and turned it into a feeling. It just took warm in my voice seriously enough to mean it. And that is when a folder with a note in it stops feeling like a trick. And here is why the title says folder, not file. There is a second assistant whose only job is the short note you post when the newsletter goes out. So I said, draft this, then announce it. The first wrote the newsletter and saved it, and the second opened that saved draft, read it, and wrote the announcement of it. No new instructions from me. 2 helpers, back to back, on 1 sentence. A few cards handing work to each other run the repeating parts of your business while you do the rest. Now let me be straight about the edges. It only sounds like you if you wrote down how you sound. A thin, vague page gives you a thin, generic newsletter, and that is on the page, not the tool. It also cannot decide what is worth saying. You are the one who knows the bean landed, and it drafts and saves, but it does not send. So a finished draft, instead of a blank page on a Sunday night, is the whole difference. So here is your move. Do not build the whole back room today, build one assistant. Pick the job you keep meaning to do and never get to, and open an empty folder. Name the job. Write how you sound, the way you would explain it to a sharp new hire on their first morning. Then hand it the real, specific things that are true this month, not a tidy, made-up example, and ask. When that draft lands in your own voice, you will feel the click and it stops being a video and becomes the first card in a folder that is yours. Want the exact newsletter card I built here, plus the free class where we open that first empty folder together and add the second card? Comment the word folder and I will point you to the free foundation on School. Your first card is the hard one and it is a lot less scary in a room full of people opening theirs the same week. The folder running my business this morning started right where yours will. 1 empty file and 1 job I was tired of doing by hand. Go write the first card.